Hello everyone, this is Mark Bennett. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is going to be the first part of a two-part series where I'm going to interview my son, 15-year-old Austin Bennett. And then after this I'll be interviewing my wife to give you an idea of an over-the-road trucker's life through the eyes of their family. How they feel about it, how they feel about the job, me being away for weeks on end, and how it affects their life. Hopefully this will give some of you new drivers and people thinking about coming into the industry an idea of what your family is going to have to deal with. Also, on top of that, maybe it'll show some of you who've been in the industry and your families and your kids, if they see it, that they're not the only ones who feel certain ways about us being gone. Everyone, this is my 15-year-old son, Austin Bennett.
Hi.
He looks real enthused, doesn't he? Well, Austin, here, we're going to start this off with tell them how you feel honestly about me being an over-the-road truck driver.
It sucks. Barely ever get to see you. You're gone on weeks to months on end, and the time you're here is fun, but don't like all the other kids normally get to see their dad like their whole life. Out of 15 years of my life, I've gotten to see you 2-3 years total at it.
Okay, now has this affected you, honestly? Has this affected your schooling or your activities when I'm away?
Kind of, in a way, I would say, because when I was in football, I didn't have you always there to go to all my games, which kind of put me down because I would always see the other kids' dads there and parents. I had mom going, but it's different. It's for the other kids, they had a different father-son bond than me and you did.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I miss too. Now that I've gotten farther, you've gotten older, and I've gotten farther along in my career, has your feelings changed at all now that you're older? Since I'm not usually not gone as long as I was when you were younger, or is it still roughly the same? You have the same feelings?
I mean, it doesn't hurt as much as it used to when I was in like elementary school. Now that I'm in high school, I'm kind of used to seeing you gone for a while, and it doesn't affect me as much because of how long you've been doing this. I mean, if you just started, I think it would, but not really.
Do you have? We're gonna have a few more questions for you, but do you have any advice to the children or to the fathers who, for whatever their circumstances are either thinking about going into trucking or are being forced into trucking to support their family?
I mean, for the kids, all I would say is find something that takes your mind off of it. Like when I was younger, I was always either on my computer or outside and with friends because I'd constantly be thinking of something else, so it wouldn't bother me as much. For the dads, I don't know how it feels for them being gone, but it must suck. So I'd just say try and keep in contact as much as possible.
Would you recommend this lifestyle for, say, let's say someone who lost their job or they're struggling and they're looking at this to better their life for their family? To you, is the reward of the being better off financially worth the loss of the time that you would have had with me?
Personally, I think it's worse because the time you can spend with your family, because in this life, all you have is family to trust and hold on to. So in my eyes, being away from your family for this long and barely getting to see them for like weeks and months on end, I wouldn't do it.
That's I think that's some good advice. I wouldn't either. If I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't either. How do you? I've had a couple people ask me to ask you this question, and I told them I was going to tell you I want you to be brutally honest. Okay, when you were in elementary school and you had some of the plays, some of the things you were in, when you were playing football and soccer, when I would have to miss one of those events, I want you to tell the people how it truly made you feel. Because I feel that when I would miss them, you would tell me it was okay, and I believe these family members are telling their dad and mom that it's okay that they missed it. So because they don't want to hurt their parents, and I said we've already talked about this in the past. So they want to know how you truly felt having your parents having me miss some of those events due to driving truck.
See, you were a kid, so you know how it feels. But in the eyes of a kid, uh, going to like your first game, your first play, and you want your parents to be that. Both of them, not just one, because you want the support of your parents because it's your first time doing it, and you want them to see you perform. Two, having your dad or your mom miss a play or something that you're doing, it sucks because after the game you see the other kids run to their parents all happy and cheerful about a win or an award they got, and you don't have your dad there to cheer you on or your mom to cheer you on. So plainly, it simply feels pathetic.
Okay. Now I've had other people that have asked about the effects of on the family that are thinking about getting into the driving, and I've seen where drivers have told them to use Skype, cell phones, the internet to keep in contact. Does that really help, or does that or is it a temporary fix that makes you feel worse afterwards, knowing that you couldn't just come talk to me at any time?
See, in my eyes, that's worse than just being gone. Because, say you call me after a year being on the road, or Skype me, and I can see that you're okay though. But afterwards, the effect that it gives is worse than being able to talk to you, because I can see you, but I know I can't like be a family with you because you're gone. And if you use the internet to connect with your family, one, everywhere that you go, there's not going to be internet, for one.
Mm-hmm.
And two, we don't know how long it would last, like the connection wise. So that's another downfall to that. And just talking over the phone, you still don't get the personal experience of actually having your family talk face to face. So that sucks as well.
Okay. Now we both agree, and I've told you 100 times that if I could have done it all over again, I wish I would have went a different route. But I did choose what I chose to make a better life for you and your sister JoJo, who's now in the Navy. But with all the bad, and there is a lot of bad to it, there are some good things. Are there any good times, as like when you used to come on the road with me? I know that it wasn't always good, but explain some of the feelings when you got to go on the road, because I know you used to love to come on the road with me when you were younger. You used to try and sit in my lap and drive the truck and so forth. So I don't want people to get the idea, the impression that this life is completely horrible. There are, in my opinion and your opinion, there are more cons than there are pros. But let's give them some of the pros to doing this. As far as, like I said, you going on the road with me and getting to see stuff. Was there anything good that came out of it?
I mean, it's not all bad. Like you said, there are good stuff, such as when I was on the road, I got to see sights I would have never seen if I just stayed put and you had a job in some town that I don't know of, such as you guys in Sulphur Springs. But if you got a job here, like at a Walmart or something, I wouldn't have gotten to travel and see like in wait, where was it? Illinois, the biggest cross in the world.
Yes, yeah, Illinois.
What?
Illinois.
And go by like the Grand Canyon and all this other stuff and see New York City. The traveling and the sights are amazing if you have a trucker relative, but if you have a choice of not going into trucking, I would take that path personally, because even I know I'm going off track of the good, but I'm just throwing this in there because even with the good of all the sites and the traveling that you can do and the money you're making, it still doesn't beat the fact that you can't see your family.
That's a good point. That's why I asked you that's why I asked you the question. Now, would you say, and I'm just going to throw this out there, say a bunch of the kids, you yourself or some of the other kids started, now we have Facebook, we have the internet. When I first started driving, we didn't have all that. Do you think it would help? And have you ever thought of starting like a page on Facebook to where the children of over-the-road truckers can talk and communicate and maybe help each other out with their problems or schoolwork while their father, mother, or both are out on the road?
See, I've actually been thinking of that, to be honest, for the past week. Ever since you said you're going to interview us, I've, in my eyes, having a group of people, like, this is why I'm okay now, because I have a group of friends at school. This fits this subject, that we all feel the same. And just having a group of people that know how you feel actually helps you more in the long run. You don't feel the effect right then because you don't know that they feel the same way as you and been through what you have. But in the long run, I think something like that, and I would help the kids and family members of truck drivers. And I've been thinking about making one, but I didn't think it would be successful, so I just put that idea aside.
So after this interview, are you actually going to try and make a page?
I might.
Okay, that's something we will do a follow-up on. If you do, we can post that out. And that may actually do some good for the younger kids. You being an older kid that's been through it all your life, and some of the other kids out there, that can help some of the younger kids for the new for the new members coming in the trucking industry if they decide to come that way.
And the page would actually be another good idea because, like, your parents won't be able to help you with your schoolwork, but you have older kids in it and adults in it that could help you if you had like a question or something, or you needed advice. But it's not just that; it's the fact that there's other people that you can interact with that have been through exactly what you have, and that know the feeling and care.
Now, when you were younger, you had Jordan, your sister, my daughter. She was able to help you through a lot of the stuff, but she went through some of the same things with you. Now that she's gone older and she's joined the Navy and's gone now, does that make it even tougher even though you're older? Or is it that you're at the stage now to where you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, you wish I wasn't doing it, but we're able to, like we did all day today, play games together, go to the movies together the last few nights, and try and do what we can when we can?
I mean, JoJo was there to help me through it all, but and she moved out to the Navy, but it's been so long that you've been doing this, it's just a tick in my brain saying he's leaving out the next night. Sucks, but has to be done to pay bills. I'll see him next time he comes in. It's just, I mean, yeah, I wholeheartedly wish you wouldn't drive truck, and if I could, I'd blow your truck up. I mean, I'm serious, but
well, that's what we're wanting. We're wanting we're wanting the brutal, honest truth from you for the viewers, so they can get an idea. Because what I said, when you were growing up and you're younger, you wouldn't tell me the truth. I knew how you felt, but you wouldn't tell me because you didn't want to make it harder on me. That's why I wanted to do this video, so these other drivers can see what the brutal, honest truth is and the feelings on the kids and the effects.
I mean, yeah, I want to blow your truck up, but if you think about it, most people only go into trucking because they need to pay bills. And, where was I going? Okay, and, if I could get you a job that would pay as good as a truck driver and would bring you off the road, even this late in my life, as growing up and about to move out and get on spider web, and get out of trucking this late my growing up, I still would. Just because for the last 3 years of my life, I would still constantly get to see you and do stuff. Say go fishing, go to the movie, as you said, ride our bikes like we did for the past few days. I mean, that's why I'm trying to get my life straight and get my education up so I can go into something that when I start a family, I won't have to be a truck driver, so I can give my family what you try to give us, but without having to go on the road.
Now, what kind of activities for some of the newer guys in the industry would you suggest they try and do once they come home? Because you know when they first start out, like when I did, they're gonna have to stay gone 3-4 weeks and be home 3-4 days. So what kind of activities for, let's say, let's kind of break this up in a couple different sections. When you were younger, say 3 to 10, what kind of activities would you have liked us to do more of, and to give these men and women an idea what they can do with their children? And then after you answer that, let's do, say, from 10 till now, what kind of activities would you like us to do when I come home, and that we actually give a couple examples of what we do.
I mean, technically 3 to 8, I don't really remember because
Okay.
I don't have long-term memory. But being that young in my thoughts and likes, I personally would have wanted to go to the park, play around, and have family play with me because, I mean, who doesn't like to play? I mean, I'm 15 and I still like to play. Come on now. But 9 to 10, play. I would have tried to play catch, do all the little things. I mean, it's not only the big activities like going out to the movies, going out to eat. Those are fine to try, but if you do more of the little stuff, which adds up in the end, instead of doing like one big thing, blows all your money right and there. That saying going out to eat at a really fancy restaurant one day out of the 4 you're there, that wouldn't be as much fun to your kid as you would playing catch one day, going to the movies the next, going out to eat at a modern restaurant the next, going out to play pool the next. And now what I do would be like going bowling from like 12 to my age, 15 right now, would be going bowling, going to the movies as a family, taking a road trip to like Dallas and doing something fun there, or just riding the bikes as we do.
All right. Well, we're 18 minutes in. This is gonna be a first time interview. We're gonna probably get an interview from you in a couple more weeks over some other stuff, different aspects of the life of the trucker. I'm gonna make this into a series, the life of a trucker through the family's eyes. So we're gonna be doing this more than just this once, based on different aspects of our life. Is there any last words you'd like to tell the kids or the folks that are thinking about going into trucking?
If you're thinking about going into trucking, try 110% not to have to, because if you have if it's you and a girlfriend or you and a wife, that's fine. You guys can ride together. But if you have a family, I'd try 110% not to get into it, because it makes you the money you need, but it hurts your family more than anything.
Well, thank you for your time, Booger. That's our nickname for him. Maybe I can get us both in here. Well, this is Mark Bennett and Austin Bennett. So I hope this helps and gives more information and insight. Look forward to doing more videos, and keep an eye out, because every week we'll be putting out some type of video, the life of an over-the-road trucker through the eyes of the family. God bless.